We live in an age that's about speed. There's about 100,000 songs uploaded to Spotify every day. So that means you need to produce about 1,000 songs a day to have a 1% chance of being listened to once a day. I don't know if that's how the math works, but anyway. Today's video I'm going to try to do the whole Virtual Riot, make a dubstep drop in 10 minutes, and we're going to see how well it goes. Here we go. Alright, we're in FL Studio. Let's get started. I'm going to put down a timer, and we're going to see how long it takes me to build a decent drop. Alright, here we go. And 4. Drums are the most important part because it's a very rhythmic genre. I'm going to do some transient processing with a supercharger, and I am going to use the preset punchy snare, turn down the gain a little bit. Okay, I already had these picked out beforehand because I did one set without OBS recording, so ignore this. I'm gonna put you to, yeah, we'll throw you on 6. That's gonna be our sidechain channel. I'm doing a manual sidechain, basically through a sidechain bus. What this means is that every time the kick drum and the snare drum hit, the amplitude of everything going through this bus, which is going to be everything except for that kick and that snare drum, are going to momentarily duck in volume, which you cannot hear. Yeah, nice and heavy. The goal is to get as aggressive as possible. Okay. Now, let's get an ARP. I'm going to design this from scratch because I feel like showing off. I have the ability to make a square pluck by taking a square wave and making it start at a high octave and then immediately drop down to a lower octave like this. Then I'm going to program out the pentatonic scale. We're going to do F minor, I decided. And that'll sound like this. This is definitely much more difficult as I'm rushing. Alright. Now I just have to send this through the right channel. Alright, into sidechain. All together now. Alright, I'm going to do the classic 2012 saw stabs. I think 2012 was a good year to be alive. Dun 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 dun. And then I just need a half step above. Down a little. And then for these supersols, I'm just going to use my own supersol patch, which I hope isn't too much. I mean, we have to figure out what cheating is or not, but I don't consider this cheating because I would have just taken forever to design this. This could have taken me 20 minutes to design if I was doing it in session, so we would get away from our 10-minute long video goal. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing but a higher octave, a little bit wider. I just need my sub bass for these supersols. And then we're filling in the gaps with the actual dubstep basses, which is where things get very technical. For now, I just need to get my supersol stack sub. Bring it up an octave. Okay. And all the extra reverb is great for atmosphere, but I'm going to make it disappear and then come back so it doesn't get in the way of the basses too much. Do something like this. This should be creative. And maybe a little too much, just a little bit. All right, it's bass time. What I'm gonna do is, since I have a sample pack, I'm gonna use all basses from my sample pack except for the first one I'm going to design myself. So let's get a cool sounding wavetable. Get a sub. I'm gonna do the sub manually so I can make it like change pitch and stuff. I mean, getting a good wavetable here is going to be a little bit difficult because the basic ones in Serum aren't amazing. Let's try some frequency modulation and see what that does. All right, FM from sub. All right, let's just go to the classic high-pass filter. We'll add some movement and a vocal effect. Sorry if I'm messing up my words, I'm concentrating. Okay, and then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to adjust the rate with the velocity, which means I can program in the articulation of the bass with much greater ease. So if I play this note softly versus if I play it hard, so I should be able to now adjust the articulation. Repeat that. And then A and B it, so we'll go back to where we were before. And then, since I want to show off, I'm going to do, what's it called? I'm going to make it twice as long, so we're going to do an 8-bar drop instead. Which means now I just need some chords for the end, and I don't care if I spell things incorrectly. Time to make them with the supersaw. How am I doing time-wise? I'm almost at 10 minutes already. All right, how am I doing time-wise? almost at 10 minutes already. Just enough time for a melody. Let me just quickly program something out. Okay, I need a preset quickly. We're almost there. All right, that's 10 minutes. Let's hear what we have, and then we'll make some adjustments. Okay, it's not awful. Let's make some adjustments and just fine-tune things. I think what I was trying to do here at the melody was entirely wrong. I mean, it's not awful, but it does sound like I put together in 12 minutes. All right, so trying to make a drop in 10 minutes probably isn't the best idea. It's probably good for practice. If you have only 15 minutes a day, at least you can get some production practice in, but at the end of the day, it definitely didn't sound amazing. So that's all I have. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, blah, 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 goodbye.